Revenge is a powerful drug. We're going to talk about 2024 month by month, showing you pictures and videos, but I got to start with 2023, what happened. As I said, revenge. I had two of my friends, close friends, one of them who was a subscriber since way back in the day before I had any views, and also my adjacent team leader in Iraq. They fell together on the Ukrainian front line, giving their lives for Ukraine. I was in Indonesia visiting my girlfriend of 1 year, just after getting back from Ukraine from training. I broke up with her after finding out she had cheated on me with multiple different dudes. So, you know, I had a lot of baggage coming in from 2023. So I made the decision to get to Vietnam. I always wanted to go there, and I thought I'd give it a try, so I did. But to go month by month, January 2024, there I am. I'm in Vietnam. I've been there for about 2 months. Just got my visa. Again, I just gotten back from Cambodia doing a visa run, and I met up with some subscribers. I didn't know we had so many Vietnamese fans, but we do. So if you're watching, hello, thank you. Love your country, love your culture. So January was really fun. I was taking out the drone, going kayaking, camping. I was driving the motorbike everywhere, which was super fun. Definitely recommend. Then February rolls around. I'm still in Vietnam, but February 1st, I made the decision as a single man, not really sure what to do. Let's go back to Ukraine. I had some revenge on my mind, and I want to get back there and join a combat unit. So February 1st, I bought the plane ticket, and I had about 2 weeks until I had to fly back again and get back to work. So I started focusing on YouTube a little bit more. I had one of them I made a week before I left, which randomly hit. It went viral for some reason. I don't know why. YouTube's really strange. But that was cool. And then the day before I leave, Lunar New Year's was happening there, February. The fireworks were crazy, super fun time in Saigon. And I got on the plane and I left. Mid-February, I get to Ukraine. I'm visiting my old friends again. I'm traveling all across the country, trying to find a unit that I want to join. I had a couple prospects. The month of February was just seeing friends again, going back to TDI, seeing them train people. It was great. You know, it'd been about 6 months since I'd been back to Ukraine, and it was too long. It was too long. And I was very happy to be with my buddies again. And then we have March, which was a big deal for me because I had found the unit that I want to join. But before that, I had went to an FPV team with an old colleague of mine. We were in the front line together way back in the day. And their team invited me out to go and experience a day in the front line with an FPV unit, just so I know what I want to do in the future if I were to join a unit. I went out there for a day, not much artillery. We had some cabs and fabs impact about 1.5 kilometers away. It was crazy to see, but not much happened. And then I exfilled out of there. About an hour later, I was bowling in the rear. And like I said, I found the unit that I want to join. I had to go up to KYIV in order to get the contract. I had to go and do all the medical stuff, and this is with the Ukrainian unit, not the International Legion. Did all the paperwork for them. I was able to visit Maidan Square again, retake this photo from 2 years ago. And then once the paperwork was done, I took a bus and train down to my team's building. And by the end of March, there was the opportunity to get on the front line on my first mission. So I took up the opportunity. After that, I ended up going back to Kharkiv to go and say hi to some friends and take a little 5-day break. And I randomly met up with some subscribers, some Ukrainians. At this point, I'm like 980,000 subscribers, just below 1 million. When April comes, I go on my second mission, 5 days after the first one. And I think 3 or 4 days in, I hit 1 million subs. I still don't have the plaque. The plaque was refused by YouTube. We'll see if I can get in the future. Nonetheless, I have the 1 million subscribers, which is nuts. I don't think anybody who starts YouTube thinks they'll get this far. I didn't go into it. I mean, you see the videos that I post. It's not like it's high production. I'm doing everything myself. I've got an editor that helps me edit and blur stuff. But other than that, I do it myself, and it's incredible. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. And that second mission flew by. It was a good one. It was a good one. We had a tank assault happen on the first day. We had a bunch of stuff. That combat footage is on my channel. And then when I get back from there, I asked if I could start and work on the FPVs. See if we can get an FPV team running. So they sent me out the 25th. They lended us a hand. They said, yep, myself and Alex can come over, learn how to make an FPV and fly them for 2 weeks. And I did that for a week. Then I was pulled off from there to go on the third operation, which is fine. So I went on the third operation. It was a little more spicy. I did not enjoy it so much. And when I got done with that, I asked, can I do full-time FPV? And they said yes. The FPV engineering really stuck with me. I enjoyed that a lot. So I started doing the FPV engineering again. And then May came around. There was a lot of engineering. I went and dug a position for 2 days with my team because they needed some help, mostly focusing on engineering. And we had Oleg for the entire month of, I think, May to June, and he had helped us a ton. He got our first batch of FPVs, our test batch, ready. And come around to June, we did our first FPV mission. Didn't work out. It didn't work. I made some kamikazes for that. I made some bombers. I was feeling better about engineering, and it didn't work. So it was a lot of the same after that, June to July, making FPVs, trying to see what works, what sticks. And at this time, the funding was becoming amazing. You guys were supporting me while I was in Ukraine. Caitlin, Trayton, AAA, so many different names I can say. So many, and I wish I could remember all. But the members, the paid members of our channel, the gorillas, so many different people helped us. And because of that, we were able to fund everything by ourselves. After Oleg had helped us try and make some FPVs and gave us a lot of supplies, bought our entire engineering house. It was now down to us. Now that I had 1 million subscribers, dedicated fan base, dedicated members and donators that were giving so much, so many people that made it possible for us to continue this thing with FPVs that was going to take a little bit longer than we thought. And by the beginning of July, I had gotten with bunker branding. It feels good, it looks good, it fits good, you know, like everything's perfect about it. So that was like my first thing other than just making videos. I don't do sponsorships. I don't want to flood you guys with more ads than YouTube already gives you. I wanted to just keep my channel very clean. But this is a good way to support me. I diversified my income rather than just getting demonetized all the time and being very sad about that. During that time also, we got connected to Protective Volunteer, KYIV, awesome people. Their Instagram will be in the description. They helped us out a lot. I got to meet the founder of Doves of Freedom, who you guys know I'm very well connected to. He's doing amazing work out there still. And it was a very encouraging time. When August came around, we were starting to test out our final batch of FPVs, the batch that we thought was going to work in the front line. It was analog cameras with no GPS, very simple, but with a dropping mechanism and some other parts that I can't really talk about for OPSEC reasons. And we were testing them out. We had Arnie join the team at this time as well. Arnie and I obviously go way back from the start of the war. And he joined our team as our main FPV pilot, which was exactly what we needed. So we were doing a lot of training then, and I was starting to get the hang of things by the end of August, really understanding this FPV stuff. It took a while, but I was just cranking FPVs out, myself and Alex. And then by the end of August or the beginning of September, we got our final flights in with our current setup, with the repeater up in the air, giving out the signal to the FPV and then giving it back to us in our hole. So we're getting reps on that. People are loving it. And beginning of September, we went out to take a break in Kiev, right? We were going around drinking a lot, drunk driving scooters. It was a great time. We needed a break. It was about 6 months since we had more than a weekend off. And while I was in Kiev, I got to do a legitimate podcast. It felt super cool. They did my makeup. They sat me down in this chair and everything was beautiful. And then October rolls around, and about a week before we do our first mission with FPVs, I cut my hand up. You guys know the video. I posted it about a week ago, but I still have my mind set on getting these FPVs ready, as many as possible for that mission. It went extremely successful. We were thinking it was going to be about a 2-3 day operation with 10 drones. It turned out to be a full 5-day rotation, and it came back with about 6 of them in more or less good condition, which was encouraging. It was exactly what we needed at this point. So my whole team knew that I was going to be heading out pretty soon. I gave them a nice heads up. So I was just getting the final stuff ready for if I leave, they're going to be okay, and they're going to be able to develop the FPV still. So I was training them a lot. And on my way out, I was going through the different cities, and I decided to go and visit the hospital where one of my friends was at, Doves of Freedom, the founder. He was injured on the front line. As he's in the middle of developing FPVs, it came at a bad time, but it didn't stop him. You know, he continues to do some amazing work, and I can't wait to actually go back there in some time. I don't know exactly when, but I will be going back and helping him out with FPVs. I would love to do that. And also come back to my team at some point. And with that, I want to give a big shout out to Santus. I've donated thousands of dollars to him. He's a fantastic dude, and he's doing a lot with his organization. So it's cool to see so many people donating. And I know a lot of people have donated, so I don't know. Big round of applause. Seriously, I don't know what else to give you. I wish I could give you something more, but the best I can do at this point is just say thank you. And by the end of October, I had left Ukraine. I cut my contract. I did about 8 months or so total with that team. Yeah, I was in Poland now. So I visited an old friend of mine for a couple days. Nice to catch up. And then I went to the Philippines. So I decided to go there for a month. I enjoyed it. You know, it's all right. It's pretty hot and humid. Went shooting at a shooting range. Got some cool drone footage. Got to see a lot of cats. And by November, I had to make a decision. A lot of different places. The whole world was open to me. Did I want to go to Vietnam again? Because I loved it. Did I want to go back to the States? I hadn't seen my family in 2 years. Did I want to stay in the Philippines a little bit more? Did I want to go back to Ukraine? Or did I want to go to Taiwan? Well, the visa was about to run up, and I knew I needed to leave the country pretty soon. So after making a literal Venn diagram of the pros and cons of each country I can go to, I made the decision to go home. But without first visiting Taiwan. I wanted to go to Taiwan so bad. And I did, and I love it. Honestly, one of the coolest countries I've ever been in. It's safe, it's not as trafficky, it's great weather, and there's opportunities to make FPVs there. So I'm definitely gonna be going there in the future. Met some Ukrainians there as well. We went to the Russian embassy out in front of it, waving around a Ukrainian flag. It was like, whoa, yeah, you know, and it was fun. And then just a couple days before Thanksgiving, I got back to the States. The last time I'd spent Thanksgiving with my family was 2 years ago. I got picked up by my buddy at the airport, and he drove me over to my family's house, and we were gonna surprise my mom, but it was like 2 a.m. And eventually they answered the door. But as soon as I got there and I saw them, we then went on a road trip that morning. After 4 hours of sleep and super jet lagged after a long flight, went on a road trip down to the bottom of America. It was about 20 hours of driving total, and I was visiting my sisters along the way because they're pretty much in a line down south. So I got to see my older sister, which is sweet. We spent Thanksgiving with her, went down a little bit further south, and we saw my little sister. It was just good to see my family again. And that was by the end of November. And then I came back up to my family's house, and I started getting the van ready. This is the month of December. But other than the van, also started making FPVs. My stepdad is getting ready for retirement, and himself being an engineer, I thought, what better hobby than to make FPVs and fly them? We bought the whole setup for Christmas, and I got myself an FPV. I taught him how to build one. I taught him how to set them up. Now we've been flying around all of December. Just every other day, we'll go out, fly a battery, and come back, and it's dope. You know, it's cool to do it in a civilian setting rather than war. You can have a lot more fun with flips and just kind of doing stuff, you know? The best part of it for me is that I know I'm going to be continuing FPV work when I get back to Ukraine or Taiwan or wherever I go. I know that's going to be not just a hobby, but perhaps work. So I wanted to keep up with that skill. It's also like the first hobby I've had that isn't video games or the gym. That's kind of my year in review. We started off very bad, and you know, there's always going to be problems. Like, there's always going to be things that happen in your year, but at any point, you can change it for the better. You know what I mean? I feel like 2024 was a complete success. It was exactly what I wanted from it. You know, of course there's gonna be problems. Of course there's gonna be stuff that happens. You know, my van is breaking down. I don't know what I'm gonna do 2 weeks from now. I could be flying out somewhere. Who knows? I would not say that I held back this year. So through the pain and through the grief, I made something of 2024. And I'm happy about it. So thanks for being here. Want to give a huge thanks to Oleg again. The people, I can't say their names, but they were helping us make FPVs. They were constantly on the phone with us. My team leader and my entire team for making this year what it was. Caitlin, Trayton, Centus, Thumbs of Freedom, PAV, my buddies with Vicar, all of you guys, the subscribers, the members, the people buying the t-shirts, donating to our team on the PayPal. I see your names. We all know you at our team, and we appreciate it a lot, and it made a difference on the battlefield. You guys know that. Super cool year. Really thankful for everything, and we'll see what 2025 brings, all right? Thanks so much for listening. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.